Welcome everybody to episode 2 of the Buck Fever podcast. I'm Noah. This is Jake. How are you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm good. Excited. Got a lot of stuff to talk about, as you can see.
Yeah, we've been busy for sure.
To say the least.
We've done a lot of walking through the woods, and it's led to sort of a treasure hunt.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually were pretty fortunate this year, but we're going to get to all of that later. The first thing is we got to talk about the success of our sturgeon spearing season, because that was absolutely wild. I don't think anybody ever would have expected something like that. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we gotta crack a doozy first.
All we do, if you would like to sponsor us, we'd be willing. So
Yeah, for sure. We're always good with that.
mm-hmm. This new flavor, by the way, is pretty good.
Gotta find a good spot to set it all. Anyways, I think as of right now, that video is at like 7,600 and some views.
Right around
It
there.
absolutely took off. It was really crazy. But even more crazy was just the season in and of itself.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, if you want to talk about your group first a little bit, and then we can kind of get into...
Well, yeah, so this is my first year of sturgeon spearing. And so for anybody who doesn't know, it's a really like localized, rare...
Really big from where we're from.
Yeah.
Very, very big.
Because we live, I mean, if I walked a mile in that direction, I'd be standing on Lake Winnebago.
Yeah.
So, and that lake is one of only 2 lakes in the whole country where you can actually spear sturgeon. And I think the other one's in Minnesota, and I think they have such a small population that their season usually lasts a couple hours.
Yeah.
Because it's like single digits.
Mm-hmm.
You got to register them immediately, and then it's done. So if you're gonna spear sturgeon, like pretty much here where we're from, this is it. And this was my first year. I've never done it before, but luckily my girlfriend's family is really, really big into it. I mean, they have a whole group. I mean, sweatshirts and the whole 9 yards, the sturgeon slayers. We got a group chat. I mean, it's been going on for a very long time. And so, yeah, it's a really big deal to them. And I mean, naturally with all this starting and everything, it was only a matter of time. So when we started, we went like the weekend before.
Weekend or two, I think it was 2
A weekend or 2 before. And we just kind of put shacks out and we're doing some scouting. And the first day that I sat out there to actually scout,
Within an hour,
I saw a sturgeon.
he's pretty spoiled considering the fact that. This is my 6th year going, and my first year I was 12 and I hit one. It was smaller, hit in the tail, nothing came off, whatever. So that's the only fish I've ever seen until this year. I saw one with Noah and Gabby right away.
Yeah.
And then later on in the season, I actually speared one. So I saw 3 fish that day, and they all got speared. So
Yeah, I mean,
he's pretty spoiled to say the least.
the pain is probably coming in the next couple of years where I'll go a long time and not get to see anything. But yeah, I saw one the first day, and then opening day, I think it was before 10 o'clock. Season opens at 7, right?
Yep.
And so within the first couple hours, we saw a sturgeon. Gabby threw at it, and we had it on video, but the way we had it set up, you couldn't really see like the first couple of shots, or like I guess per shot, just because we didn't have anything down on the bottom to really give you a backdrop to see. So the water was pretty murky. So we didn't know where she hit it, but we kind of just like slowed down and looked at it. And we thought for a while that she didn't hit it, but then based on the way the fish reacted, we think she might have hit it in the head.
And the crazy thing about sturgeon is, like, if their heads are like basically like a concrete block.
Yeah.
You can hit them with a spear and it bounces right off. Doesn't stick into them. It gives them a headache, pretty good headache, but just so they get confused but you won't kill them. You can't kill them if you hit them in the head. So.
And that's kind of why we thought she hit it in the head, because it, like, once she threw, and I hadn't seen it in the water at that point, only on her camera.
Yeah.
And so once she threw the spear, all of a sudden it like came up in the water column and like came upwards at us. And so then I saw it and threw quick. And originally we thought it was a clean miss, but we went and looked back at it and I hit it for sure.
Yep.
But it was back in the tail, not a great shot.
Same thing I kind of have.
It either like went in and he kicked it off, or the tail went like right between a couple of tines, and it just wiggled free.
They're strong fish. They're very strong, and it was a good sized fish too. So I mean, it wasn't no little one where it would have just got off, but they're pretty strong. So
which, if you've seen the video, you can tell how strong they are, and if you haven't, you should go watch it because
it's on the page, first one on there.
Yeah, there's some really crazy footage in that, and that was really the next time I saw one was that day, because we went opening weekend, nothing, the next weekend, nothing, and then it was the Wednesday before the last weekend, so it was probably like
24th, I believe.
Yeah, so it was probably day 12 out of 16, maybe
11
or 11, maybe 11,
something like that.
Yeah, so it was.
It's a 16-day season, if you don't know, but they keep track of what sex of the fish gets speared, and if they hit a certain cap, they can close it down earlier or whatever. But this year, on the Winnebago system, it went the whole season, which we were fortunate enough to have. So that Wednesday, my dad and me, I had off of school and he took off of work, so we went out there. It was kind of crappy out. It was pretty windy. It was warm and windy and kind of rainy. Not good conditions for ice. I asked Noah if he wanted to come. He decided. He said, "You know what? I'm going to sleep in. Whatever." I said, "Okay, that's fine." And then,
well, I figured I had that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday that I was going to be up and spearing. So 3 weekends in a row of 3 days of up early spearing. I figured, you know what? I got to sleep in now. And I know if I do that, Jake's going to spear one. But if that's what it takes, fine. You know?
Yeah. So it's not gonna lie, sturgeon spearing it can get boring.
Oh yeah.
But the minute of action you get you'll be hooked. So anyway, my dad and I got out there, whatever, and it was like 8:45-ish or something like that, and we were sitting in 16 foot of water, so that's fairly deep water. But we had pipes down, you could see very, very clear, and like 8:45, my dad said, "Here comes one under your feet." So I didn't know if he was being serious or not. And I stood up, and sure enough, the head came through. And as soon as I saw the head come through, and I knew it was big enough, I boom, right down, and then took off right away. So I'm pulling it up, and I get it up to the hole, and my dad's by the door, so he's trying to gaff it. Shout out to my dad; he did a great job. Missed the first time, but he gaffed it after he missed. It was like Wisconsin Dells in there, water's flying everywhere. The fish is just not happy, and we get it out the door or whatever, and so I get it. I go to register it, and turns out it was 98.6 pounds, 6 foot. So that was my first sturgeon ever, and it was a very, very good sturgeon for a first fish ever. And it was an F1, so we explained a little bit in our other video, but F1 means it spawned out last year, so it didn't have any eggs in it. So if it had I speared it a year or two earlier, would have had a couple 20, 30 pounds of weight on it, something like that. Yeah. So that was cool. So then I called Noah. He was in shock. He meets me at the weighing station. So he comes through, because with COVID, there's a whole bunch of stuff you got to do to get weighed in, whatever. He comes through. I'm like, "You want to come sit with us out on there?" Because it was only 9:30 by the time we got there.
Right.
I was like, "Sure." So we get out there, whatever, and it's like 11 o'clock.
I don't even know if it was 11 o'clock yet. Maybe it was a little bit after. It might have been a little bit after.
So we get out to the lake. We go, and Noah's girlfriend's parents were not far from us. We went out there and showed them or whatever. We get back in the shack with my dad, and he, no more than an hour and a half after I speared one, 2 hours, he's out hanging out the door trying to send a picture of my sturgeon to some people. I think it was to me, actually. And I'm like,
it was.
One comes right underneath his feet. So I'm like, "Here comes one." He just throws his phone on the floor. Didn't care where it went. And he hits it. Noah's like, oh, you hit in front of it, and he's pulling it up, and all of a sudden the rope just takes off. So he pulls it up, whatever. We get it, we gaff it, we get it stuck. The spearhead gets stuck between the door. Took us forever to get it out. We got it out, and so then we're like, okay, well now what? So he goes and gets it registered. It was like 77 pounds.
Yeah.
So it was like 77 pounds, 67 inches, something like that. Another great fish, F4. So that one had eggs. And this was his first sturgeon in 10 or 11 years. So it's a waiting game.
Right.
So then Noah didn't have his tag with him.
Yeah, I didn't bring it because I was just planning on meeting Jake at the station to take pictures and congratulate him, and then he invites me out, and I'm thinking, well, if somebody's gonna throw, it's gonna be Terry because he's still got a tag, and then he throws, and they both got fish, and now we're like, hey, apparently this is a hot spot, and we got like an hour and a half yet, maybe 2 hours. Yeah.
So long story short, Noah's girlfriend Gabby was so kind to bring him his tag. She brought hers out. We're all sitting back in the shack. We get back in there, me, my dad, Noah, and Gabby, and we're not paying attention. We're talking.
This was just stupid because we were talking about how many fish got speared the day before, which was totally irrelevant.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't matter at all. And then when you have 4 people and none of us could agree on what it was, so I was trying to look it up. I'm on my phone looking it up. For whatever reason, Gabby and your dad are talking to each other, but they're not like...
They're like looking at each other.
Yeah, they're like gazing into each other's eyes, talking about who knows what.
They're talking about a weighing station.
Yeah.
And I don't know what I was doing, but I checked to make sure the camera was on, tapped it, whatever, and I put it back down, and there's a fish in the hole.
Yeah, because when you watch the video, like it's down, and plain as day, you can see the fish right in the middle, and nobody's saying anything. And then all of a sudden, you spot it, and then I tried to. Well, we had talked about it. We had talked about it before that the spear that was on my side was an older spear,
very loose,
and the head pops off pretty easy.
Yeah.
But because we saw it late, and then I had my phone in my hand, so I had to put my phone down and then grab it. And as much as you want to like talk about,
you just want to get it and go.
Yeah, you can never prepare yourself to say, yeah, okay, I'm going to calmly take this out and gently throw it. It's never going to happen. So as soon as I grab it, boom, spearhead pops off, and then it swims just up to Gabby.
Yeah, swims under her feet, and I just pointed about lower feet. I said, you got to throw, and she, no idea how she hit it. Awesome shot, just kind of whoop, right between the legs, and then...
Because I don't think she was saying, I don't think she ever saw it. Like, when she threw it, I don't think she ever saw it, and then all of a sudden...
Maybe the tail.
Maybe, but then she hits it, and we're all like saying, oh, you hit it, and then I think you grabbed the rope and pulled it up, and then I could see it because I was on the other side, and I'm like, oh my god, that's a really big one.
Yeah, I knew it was big too, and she threw it, and it must have been deeper than we thought. It might have been on the bottom for all we know. It took a while for the rope to go, and I could see underneath, and I could see the rope take off, so I grabbed it from my dad, and I told them to get the gas, and I was pulling it up, and Noah and I are like, okay, yeah, this is a pretty good fish. We're pulling it up, and they gaff it, get it out, whatever. Awesome day, so hers turned out to be, 76 pounds?
It was like almost identical.
Yeah, basically the same as my dad's, maybe a little longer. Awesome day, so yeah, we speared over 250 pounds of fish out of one hole. So yeah, that was...
And those are all like big fish.
Yeah, I
mean, yours obviously is really big, and, people try forever to get a 100-pounder.
Yeah.
But even the ones that they got being like 77 pounds, I mean, that's a really nice fish. Yeah, a lot of people would be really happy with that fish. So to get all 3 of those out of the same hole, less than 2 hours apart a piece.
It was a crazy day. That'll never happen again ever, but it was unreal. And it was... Yeah, words can't even describe how cool it was to be there for all of that.
And then you get it all on video.
Yeah, so you guys should really go check out that video if you haven't already, because it's definitely easily our best video yet.
Oh yeah. And I think when I saw your dad's go down and I thought that he didn't hit it, I don't even think the spear was all the way down there yet, because you don't realize how deep it is.
It does not look 16 feet at all, and the water. I don't know if you've ever speared fish at all. When the water plays tricks on your eyes of where the spear goes and where it actually looks like it's going. So that could have been the reason why you didn't.
And your dad, he was what, 7 for 7 before the season started?
Yeah, he's going to get a little frustrated that we say this, but he missed one earlier that week. I wasn't in there. He was in a different shack and he missed. Says he barely saw it. We'll give it to him. He missed. Okay. He also threw at mine because he thought I missed that one. So
that one doesn't count.
No. So he was 1 for 2 this year, but the spear that I speared mine with is the one he speared his with, and Gabby speared hers. So we were a perfect.
Yeah.
That spear is like 10 for 10. So my fish crazily bent a tine, which is really crazy. But so we might either retire that spear or fix it up and keep using it. So we're not sure yet, but
I think we got to put the quote "gaff 'em" on the t-shirt.
We should.
You probably said that like 10 times. Gaff 'em, gaff 'em, because it's. I mean, when they just start, you get them to the surface and they're just thrashing everywhere. You just can't help but feel like it's just going to pop off.
And I had one tine in it. One tine in almost 100-pound fish is
right. It's a little bit sketchy.
Yeah. So.
And then you were trying to pull the head off, and so you're yanking on the rope, and stuff was getting tangled because you got other ropes that are hanging down there.
It was crazy.
But
awesome. Though.
Yeah, I mean, it made for really cool footage and kind of like a once-in-a-lifetime situation there.
Great memories that we'll never forget.
We'll probably spend next season when we're bored and not seeing anything, we'll just
the videos
sit there and watch our own video from last year. Definitely before the season starts, that'll be a good video to watch and kind of get back into it. Yeah, I don't know, first year and all of that excitement. Kind of crazy.
But now it's, what's the date today?
19th.
It's the 19th, and basically all the ice is gone.
Yeah.
So we're switching gears more into spring. As you can see, we had a pretty... Now, not all of these are from this year, but we had we had a pretty good haul this spring, if you want to call it that already or not. But obviously these ones, this one and
then this one, these were the set.
We've shown you these on the last one.
Yep. These were from a piece of land that my grandparents used to own a couple of years ago. My grandpa and my brother found them just right next to each other, just laying just like this, perfect set. And that was another really, really cool find that you're not going to have very often. But yeah, these were older ones. And then those other big ones.
So these ones I found last year. It's the 19th, you said?
Yeah.
I found these on the 21st, so almost exactly a year ago. My dad and I found these. I found him. He was with me. And as you can see, this deer would have been a monster. No idea where he went. We had a couple pictures of him during the year before he shed these. No idea. I haven't seen him since. Squirrels absolutely demolished these horns, though. So
I can't believe they do that much. So quick.
Mm-hmm. I really wish we would have had the full in horn, but I'm still pretty stoked with these. This is my biggest sheds I've ever found. So that was a pretty cool day that I found those.
Well, then the one deadhead. That's the only one we didn't find this year.
Yeah, this is from last year.
That was last year's find. So last year, was it only that? We found this one together.
Mm-hmm.
And then that one you found with your dad.
Yep.
But that was it for last year.
Yeah, that was it. I mean, just a little guy.
Yeah, so we still have to clean all of the deadheads up a little bit. They're still a little bit dirty, but...
We're going to try and...
We'll try and hydro dip them or make something cool out of them and show you guys how that turns out. But yeah, so that was all last year's, that stuff, and then that was a couple years ago. And then this was the first one this year, right? This is how we started it off.
You started it off with the find.
Yeah, so we were first day, I don't know, a couple weeks ago.
It says on there.
Oh yeah, on the 3rd.
March 3rd, yep.
I can't believe you write on all of them, man. But we were just walking through and come up on a pile of bones that have always been there because we've been on there all the time. We always see them, and I just kind of started looking at this, and
I walked right past it.
Well, you're gonna think it's like a rib or something in that pile. I mean, what are the odds that a deer is gonna shed its antler in a pile of bones? Mm-hmm. And how are you ever really gonna see that? So I just kind of got lucky and found this one, and it was, I mean, it's not a big one by any stretch, but it's always cool when you can find sheds.
You're actually, it's pretty amazing that you find one this size.
Right.
And sometimes you won't even find something like this.
And it was quick, too. It was within, like, the first 10 minutes, maybe probably less.
Yeah.
Because it was right where we started walking, so that was a good one to start off the year, for sure.
And we only went up from there.
Yeah.
I found this beast about an hour later after walking. Just a little guy. Decent year and a half. He's got pretty good genetics for a brow. Almost 2-inch brows, a year and a half is pretty good.
We almost stepped on that one.
Yeah, that one was right on the trail. And
I mean, it was, well, you had just said, like, literally, I think we stopped right there, and you just said, like, how could there not be more sheds around here, or something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
And then you probably took 2 more steps, and it's right there on the trail, plain as day, almost stepped on it.
Yep.
You thought I saw it and just let you find it, because it was that obvious. But, yeah, so that was our first 2, and then, so then we were coming back, and that was all we had found for the day, and we were, like, ready to call it quits. We were walking back, and we just said, you know what, we're going to go. I think we were setting up to go and try and shoot some crows. And so we were like, you know what, that was a good first day, whatever. We're just going to walk it back.
Yeah. So like when we were walking, it was basically a big rectangle.
Yeah.
And we kind of split it in half, and we walked one side down, and then we were turning around and coming back the other way. We weren't going to comb through it as well as we thought we were going to.
No, we were just going to cruise through and head back and then try and set something up. And then all of a sudden, I'm just looking around, and I just see, I think it was this one, right?
Yep, it was that one.
I just see this one barely. It's in like some grass and leaves, so I can just barely see like the tips of these here. And I must have been 30 yards away, and I just kind of started looking at it and kind of walking closer to it. Didn't really say anything.
Yeah, he just takes off walking away. I was in like mid-conversation. I was looking the other way, like, all of a sudden he's gone. Like, okay, where's he going?
I just get right up on it, and I'm like, oh yeah, like, because obviously, you know, this one's a much bigger one than the other ones were. And so we get right up on this one, and Jake's like, oh, that's great, you know, whatever. And you like start walking up, and then you spotted that one not even 10 feet away.
So we'll come back to that one real quick. But this one, so these are 2 different deer. Obviously, they're both the same size.
Yep.
They're the same side.
Yep.
And within 10 feet they were of each other.
Yeah.
Something like that. So I recognize this deer right away. Deer we've been chasing all year long. I seen the split with the broken G2 and the split G3. I'm like, that's freak nasty. This is his one side, his right side, which I was really hoping to find both sides. But so this one was laying there. I find it right away. I'm like, okay, a little disappointed. I thought he'd be a little bit bigger than this.
Yeah.
But he was only a 3.5. So.
But it's hard. I mean, he had that G2 obviously is busted, and like the way they sit on his head,
he's wide. He's
so
like
wide.
18 wide, and his left side was better than his right side. So I'm hoping that this year he'll kind of blow up even more. So, but it was still a sweet find, awesome find that we found both of these, and then.
Yeah, well, this one you weren't really expecting to find because you had this deer like only a couple times on camera.
We had him real early in the year, like all summer, and then he was kind of distant. I don't know if the bigger deer kind of pushed him out or whatever. So, and then...
Yeah, I mean, I'll try and hold it up here for you, but, like, you can see how far across this comes, like, in front, because they're almost touching.
We have a name for this deer. It's called Blade Runner, obviously, because his blades just run really...
Yeah.
We'll pop a picture up, but, so then, that's him. I was stoked to find that side, because I knew it was a really good side, and then... Believe it or not, on the 13th of March, 10 days later,
10 days later,
we go back out there, and Noah finds the other side. Now, you guys are probably like, oh, that's not, you guys are crazy, that's not the same side. It is.
Here,
we'll pop,
them both.
We'll pop a picture up. And so, the reason I know it's the same size is because Blade Runner, he broke this off in about early September. He was trying to get his velvet off, is what I'm thinking. Snapped this beam right off, and they touched. There was about you could probably stick your finger in it, and that was as far as you could get in there. So I'm guessing he was trying to get all the velvet off, whatever, couldn't get it through, snapped it off, whatever. So I knew that if I found that side, I knew exactly what deer that was. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, like I said, we'll throw the picture up. It's it's pretty easy to tell that it's the same
Right.
deer.
I mean, we put something up on our Instagram for people to, vote on it, whatever. And we had some people that said no. And I can see that because when you just look at it, they really don't look the same unless you see the other pictures of the deer. But knowing that this is exactly where he broke it off, and obviously this brow tine is much shorter, but in those pictures, this one is much shorter.
Yeah, he's got his G2 is the same, and he had a 3 and a 4. A little 4, but he had a 4.
But it'd almost be harder if the brow tines were the same size, because then it'd be a little bit harder to tell. But because it's so distinctly, this one is shorter. I mean, it's definitely a set. Probably found him 200 yards away?
Yeah,
less maybe. And I still think
I don't know.
Freak Nasty's it's got to be around.
Usually when the bigger bucks drop, they're going to drop both pretty close to each other just because they don't want to carry the other side around.
And the other one's bigger.
Yeah, his side, that other side's bigger. So that's why Noah and I probably spent 3 more days in there just looking. We've walked too many miles. Trying to find it. Haven't found it. Well, I'm sure I'll stumble upon it some other time, or it's just on my neighbor's property, whatever. But this deer is only a 2.5, so that is pretty awesome. That next year, hopefully, he'll be even bigger, grow a lot more mass and whatever. So
it'd be really nice to get both of them back. And then Gabby found this one. This one, we were out. It was 4 of us out.
It was a couple days before we found.
Yeah.
We found this one on the 13th, so we must have found that one.
I don't know. It was a couple days before.
Like the 7th or 8th or something like that.
Yeah. But you and Haley walked right over top of it. I was walking right over top of it. And Gabby was like, oh, look. And what she could see was just part of the skull. And then as she starts to grab it, she pulls up the rest of it. And I mean, it's a whole deadhead here. It's got 4 little points. It was old. It had a whole bunch of green moss and crap on it, which I scrubbed off. And like I said, we're going to try and clean them all up and make them look nice. But I mean, you almost would rather find deadheads like this because it makes it a really cool treasure to have. But it's not like some monster buck that died and now it just died and you didn't get a chance to hunt it. You'd rather have something like this where it's so cool to find, so cool to have, but you didn't lose a big deer on your property. And then this one was not too long ago.
Same day we found this.
Oh, the same day as that one. It wasn't the same day as the other deadhead. Yeah, same day as that one. We were walking kind of through the marsh on your property, right?
Right along the river.
And you don't...
The creek, I should say. There's a spring that leads into the river.
You don't really shed hunt that too much, do you? I mean, it's kind of hard.
If they drop in there, it gets just covered up with grass and everything. So,
but this one, this one here, you can hold it. This one was right along the river, totally covered in grass. I just barely saw it, and
if I had to guess, he's probably been dead for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah,
just very the way it is. Yeah,
but we think that he might have been invalid when he died.
Because if you see, he's kind of palming into here, so he might have been really early. This could have been a July, August kill, or I shouldn't say kill, but where
death.
Yeah. Because if you feel it, it's like sandpaper. Where these are smooth. If you ever felt a horn, it's smooth. So these are very rough. So I'm guessing he died in summer and just never got found. He was buried in the river, and
that was a crazy one. I mean. For some reason, it feels like we do a better job of finding the hard ones. And then there's probably easy, obvious ones that we're just walking right past, never even looking at them. But
kind of brings you into some tips. By no means are we experts or good at doing this.
No, because you think there's obvious places to check. You want to check, look around bedding areas and rubs if they go back to a tree that they hit in the rut to try and break them off,
which is where you'd think you'd find them, but we didn't find any of these there.
No.
A good spot where I've heard from a lot of people, and I've found a few, is fences or rivers where they have to jump.
Because they jump and then that
knocks them off. And then they land, it knocks them off. So that's a good spot. Just heavily bedded, just trails they travel that are high trafficked.
But if you Googled it and you were like, where's the best spot to find sheds? And you looked at the top 10 places that it told you, None of these were found in any of those spots. So, I mean, it's not to say don't look there because, you know, obviously there's going to be, there's still good spots for a reason, but I mean, you just got to walk everywhere. And the deer, I mean, they don't have any real rhyme or reason sometimes. They just drop them and you just got to go find them. So you got to just get in there everywhere.
I think another good spot to look is a food source. Like if there is standing food of any sort during the winter months, that's where they're going to go.
And so many of them drop them down like running through a field, like a cornfield.
Yeah.
But you'll never see them in there.
Nope.
Which
sucks.
The corn looks exactly like this. I mean, how many times we could have seen one in a cornfield and just wrote it off because you almost shut your eyes off when you're walking through one because everything that you look at, everything that you lay your eyes on looks like it's a shed.
Yeah.
And that just gets annoying because, you know, you might see one and you're like, oh, what's that? Then you walk over there, oh, it's corn. And you'll do that 100 times. But there's sheds in those fields.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, absolutely crazy here.
We're not, I wouldn't say we're done shed hunting, but we're kind of on the down slope just because we got to start getting ready for other stuff.
Right, we got a lot of big summer plans.
I'm going up this weekend tomorrow with my uncles and dad, and we're going to do some stuff with the food plots and some wood and trimming and stuff like that. So I might look a little bit, probably not a ton.
Yeah, you never know. That sometimes that's the time that you'll stumble upon one. You're not even trying to look, and then there it is, and you'll think, well, we walked right past this 3 times and we were actually trying to look and never found it. But who knows? It's always exciting. Maybe you'll find one that, you know, maybe it's not the other side. Maybe it'll just be a new one that was pretty big. You had one you said that you thought we might find, but we never did.
Yep. I don't know. I mean, if you want to tell them what you're going to be doing this weekend.
Yeah.
And hopefully getting a video out, because I know.
Hopefully.
I've been getting a lot of questions at school about fishing videos. I am personally not a very big fisherman. Certain experience about my only thing I'll do, but...
Well, we'll have a video if we catch any fish, but yeah, spring's here and the water opened up, and usually the first place that it opens up every year is into Pier, and that's where people are always catching walleyes, and I would say we haven't really gone that many years to De Pere. My dad, I mean, you know, you got a boat, and when you go out there, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be just fine. But if you run into some ice that you didn't think was there, but it drifted in or whatever, and you destroy your boat like that, it's just not worth it. So, I mean, it's never really sketchy, but sometimes it's just like, maybe don't need to risk it. Because the other thing is, my dad says he wouldn't eat any walleyes or any fish out of there because there's some sort, I don't know what it is. Maybe there's a factory or something that runs in there. And so the fish don't taste good and they might not be all that great for you. So if we do catch any, we're going to be going for walleyes. If we catch any, probably not going to keep them unless they're big enough to mount, I guess. But it should be fun. I didn't get to do a whole lot of fishing last year. I was working too hard in the summer. And then just didn't go enough on the weekends when I wasn't working. And so
probably at the woods.
Probably. We spent a lot of time there. We're going to spend a lot of time there.
Probably double that
this year too, yeah. But
I'll be out of high school, so I won't have sports to attend to. It'll just be me working, and then we'll be free in the afternoons and the weekends. So
that was the thing last year is you had
sports.
Summer lifting and practices and all that stuff, and then we're both working and trying to, you know, work around all that. But we'll have less of that stuff going on now. So we'll have more opportunities for some of this stuff. And we used to walleye fish a lot. It kind of has slowed down now. And my brother has really gotten into bass fishing and northern fishing. And now this year, he's never gone, but now he got a whole bunch of stuff to go muskie fishing. So, I mean,
that'd be cool if we got a few of those.
Yeah, it's a pretty specialized thing. I mean, you need pretty specific gear and it's all expensive. But he's found some good deals, got some used stuff that's still in really good condition, but he's really excited for that. And so we're going to try and do some muskie fishing, definitely bass and northern fishing. And we did that last year and we did really well, but we hadn't created the channel yet. We weren't filming. We didn't have anything. And like I said, we didn't have that many opportunities to get out there. But this year, we're sort of making that vow that we're going to get out there. I'm determined to get Jake out there because I know he's a fisherman at heart. You know,
I'll go.
You haven't done it that much. Well, and you've done more pan fishing, right?
Yeah, I've never done. Really
Which I like that. And it's nice if you're catching them and you can, keep bringing them in one by one. But it's just different when you're, reeling in a big northern, or even with bass fishing, like just the way that they hit your lure. It's just a lot more fun to do that. Plus, you're more active when you're constantly casting and all of that. I mean, it's going to be a learning curve. Trying to film yourself and other people fishing is definitely not easy, but we're going to figure it out. And if we catch fish, we're going to get videos out. So I'm pretty excited for that. I've been missing it.
Yeah, I'm going to pass the time for about a month, a little less than that. And then one of my favorite things to do in the spring, probably my favorite thing to do in the spring, is turkey hunting. And that...
You almost like that more than deer hunting.
It's a close second. It's a close second.
Yeah.
My dad and I have really started hitting it hard the last few years and going almost every day we can, honestly.
Well, you got a great opportunity on your land.
And the other parts we can hunt. The other properties I'm allowed to hunt. And so that will be starting, I believe it's May 24th, or not May, April 20.
Somewhere in there.
24th or something is when my first season opens. So in Wisconsin, there's 6 periods. So like each week you have to have a tag for a certain period. It goes 1 through 6 or 8 through after, whatever, however they do it. So my dad and I got the first season in my zone. I'm lucky enough to be able to buy extra tags, which you can buy. So we are in zone 3, I believe, or whatever. And so we're going, the 24th is opening day. The seasons run from Wednesday to Tuesday. So that's a week, or that's the period that it goes. So we're going to probably go Wednesday morning for a little bit. I got to get to school afterwards. And then Noah will come and film, me and my dad. And then that's that weekend. I have nothing going on. So I'm sure us 3 again will be out there hitting it hard, trying to get some really good video. We kind of got a little secret of how we've killed them in the past that we'll hopefully be able to show.
It's different. Blew my mind. I mean, because I've done some turkey hunting in the past with my dad, and we just haven't. The land that we have, there's just not a lot of turkeys around there, and so your land, I mean, it's just riddled with turkeys. We were out there in the winter still before we were shed hunting, and we saw no less than 200 just on your land. I mean, there was a herd of like 150 hens and then 50 plus
male birds. It was pretty cool. But they'll break off and there won't be that many.
Right.
But it's still cool. So.
But how many did you take last year?
Between you, me, and my dad?
Yeah.
Like 6, I think.
Yeah. I mean.
5 maybe. So.
That's really good for just one piece of property.
Well, we're lucky, like I said, we're lucky enough to be able to buy extra tags.
Yeah.
So we'll go first season. Me and my dad also got another one for third season. So we'll be off for a week. I might go film some of my buddies or whatever. Third season we'll be hitting it. Fourth season we'll be hitting it. Fifth season, sixth season, we'll be out there for
as long as they're gobbling.
About a month and a half straight almost of just straight hunting.
Pretty much. I mean, that's still last year when I was with you, got my first bird. We doubled up that day. That's still probably one of my favorite days of being in the woods. Because that to me, I think we talked about it a little bit in the last podcast, but that to me is sort of, we had talked about starting this channel and doing all that, but that's sort of like the day that we realized we could actually do it. Because even though we had a camera and we got 0 footage because we kept screwing it all up, we realized, hey, we might actually be able to hunt them good enough that we can actually make it go with this. So that was just such a
created the channel, honestly.
Yeah.
Or got the idea, they got the ball rolling for us to do it.
So just turkey hunting, it's a lot of fun, and the way you do it is more fun. We won't talk about that yet.
Yeah, so
we'll save all of our strategies for the actual turkey hunting videos, but
hopefully we'll get a good amount of footage and videos coming out for you guys. I might get my uncle out there. He hasn't done it in a while. My sister said she might even come out, which blew my mind, but if she wants to come, I'll take her. So
as long as people got tags and the turkeys are still around,
we'll take them.
We'll get as much as we can.
So
Hey, did you talk?
Yeah.
We got new mounts on the wall.
We did, yeah. I don't know if anybody noticed, but since our last video, these are... No, I'm not going to be able to think of the years that I shot them, but...
You didn't write it down?
I did not.
You write on everything else, man.
I do, yes. Let's see. This one... I might have been 14. I think I was 14 when I shot this. No, I had to be younger than that. I was probably 13. Anyway.
So it would have been like 5 years ago.
Yeah, 5 or 6 years ago I shot that one. I was sitting, it was just opening day gun season. It was snowing, pretty cold. Me and my uncle were sitting over a big 18-acre field and seeing deer pretty consistently in the morning. This was pretty early. I think I shot at like 7, something like that. Pretty early, like not too long after opening. Comes out, I was on the radio. Anyway, I shot him and dropped him right there, and then my uncle made me sit there for 3 hours before I went to go see him, which was fine because it taught me patience. So he was laying on the field, whatever. I get up there, and I thought it was a lot bigger than what he was, but I was also a lot younger. So
it's still really nice.
Yeah, a nice 2.5. Yeah. So I was really happy with him. And then the next year or 2 years after I shot that one with my bow opening day, which was pretty cool because that was that was like the first year I ever got on film on a GoPro. So they're both nice 2.5. Would have been great if I let them go a year, but I was younger, so it was kind of...
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, these were the last 2.5s that I kind of said, all right, now I'm going to hold out for bigger ones and join my dad and uncle in quality deer management.
Yeah, so we just thought we'd bring these in for new change of scenery, new stories.
Probably bring in new ones every time and just talk about them and stuff. So
yeah, every time we go into your room looking for stuff, I mean, there's just all kinds of this stuff everywhere. There's all kinds of stories and treasures
and that's what I love about
share and show off.
The memories.
Yeah, it's the best because you can pick up one shed and you'll know exactly the story behind it. Yep. Just like we did here. Mm-hmm. You don't really forget it. You'll know the deer. And then with trail cameras, you have pictures of them. So
it's kind of fun to track and see where they are, where they dropped it, where they live the most, or where they travel through the most. So it's really just I've got pretty wrapped up in it, honestly. When I was younger, I hunted, but now I'm really pretty much full bore into it.
Yeah, and it's nice when you have all sorts of different opportunities and you're fairly close to your land too. So yeah, I mean, it's great. And I mean, that's why I love shed hunting, just because, I mean, it's just nice to walk through the woods in the spring like that. The snow's melting. You finally every time we went, we said it 10 times how nice the weather is.
It could only be 40 degrees.
Yeah, it's like 40 degrees and sunny.
And we're out there in the so nice. We're like, we got to take our sweatshirt off.
But it's a nice walk through the woods, and sometimes you just stumble across something like this, and
it's a great way to scout for deer. Yeah, for the upcoming year, where they bed, what trails they use the most, and all that stuff. So
yeah, it's pretty
very beneficial.
Well, the other big announcement that we have to make is that we bought a boat. So that we got.
I don't think you want to call that a boat.
Well, some people have been, calling it a raft, but that's not really what it is. It's a boat. You can mount a motor to it. It can have a 1.5 horse motor on it. It's made for that. Okay, and
I'm like a 2 horse motor right here. I can just.
Well, that's true. It's got oars too. We can set them all up and get 3.5 horses. I'm totally fine with that. But we got a 3-person raft. It's a boat. But the reason we got it really is for sucker spearing, which I have no idea how big sucker spearing is, like statewide, countrywide. I have no idea if that's just a thing that we do here either. I don't hear that much about it, probably because they're an invasive species that everyone hates.
Like carp.
Yeah.
Smaller version of carp.
Mm-hmm. But I think last year too was the first year that I got into sucker spearing, and they just run like through the creeks and rivers, and there's not like a designated season because they're invasive. So all of a sudden one day in April, people just out of the blue, it's like, hey, the suckers are running, and everybody just gets together, heads out to the known spots where they're at, and
put your waders on and get in there.
Yeah.
You do have to have a fishing license.
Yep.
Which covers that.
Which we may or may not have, I may or may not have necessarily known last year, and I may or may not have sort of gotten busted by the DNR a little bit, but...
I wouldn't say busted, he just kind of...
No, I didn't get in trouble or anything, but...
He just helped you out and told you that you had to have it, which he didn't know.
Right.
He's never done it before, so...
Which, I mean,
They're $10. Their fishing license is like $10 or something, so...
Well, and the thing, I think it might be March 15th. I don't know. I think it's right around now that you have to renew your fishing license.
Yeah.
It's sometime in the spring, and so I guess I just wasn't thinking about that.
So that'll be coming up pretty quick, but a lot of people don't know a lot of people know, but they still don't do it. If you spear suckers, you have to take them. Right. Which sucks because a lot of people will spear them, throw them on the bank, and leave them there, which we're not.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, I mean, we can't do that because if you're in the river or the creek or whatever, you're good to go. But the creeks go through private property, so now all of a sudden you're just throwing dying fish up onto people's land, and
it's not a good idea. You don't want to do that.
Smell.
So if you ever go, take them, bury them, take them, give them to somebody, do whatever. But
and so we had to take them last year, and the problem is there's not a really great way to carry them if you get a lot.
Yeah, like we did one day. I don't even know what we speared.
I thought it was close to 80,
something like that. There was a group of us. There was 6 of us. So we thought a 55-gallon drum cut in half would be a great idea until you got to carry it a mile back upstream. Yeah, full of fish. Right. So
because it's great when it's full of water and it's still the same density and it just floats along, but then you got it full of fish and it's dragging there. It just And the problem was what we usually do is put in, I guess it would be upstream and then spear downstream until we fill up our bucket, and then for some reason decide to haul everything back upstream against the current, which is just how it works out. But we knew we couldn't do that. We couldn't have something that's in the water trying to pull it, so I knew we had to get something that floated. And I guess when I just decided what size to get, I got this boat for $80 on Amazon. And that's a pretty good deal because in other places, the same boat will go for $300+. So
either we got ripped off or we got a great deal.
Yeah, we could have got ripped off. I blew it up though, and there was no holes in it or anything. It was good to go. I blew it up.
Someone gets a spear in there. And...
if somebody spears it, I'm going to be mad. But yeah, it's a 3-person boat. So it's we can probably fit 1,000 suckers in there. It's got a capacity of 800 pounds. So, if we fill that thing up, there's no way. There's no way we'll ever be able to do that. But that's kind of the point. So, and everybody can grab onto it and pull it. It's not just one person's got to pull it. If we spear downstream again, we can just float it down. And nobody really even has to hold on to it. There's some spots where it might get shallow. We might run into some challenges, but for the most part, it's probably the best way we can.
We'll have enough people with us. Yeah. Because it's a sport, I guess you could say, that a lot of people can do. Yeah. You can get out there. Sometimes it's even nice enough just to walk and put some Crocs on and go out there in your shorts and walk in the water. So it's fun for everyone to do. So hopefully we'll get some good footage of that coming up. But you gotta be ready for it because it happens quick. Yeah, and that's what we've been doing. We got the boat early. It's probably a month early, and we got spears and everything getting ready now because last year, all of a sudden, it just comes up, and you're like, "Oh, everybody has spears," but nobody's got spears. Everybody's got the same idea to go get spears, so you got to be ready. And then there's nothing in stock anywhere, so we're just kind of doing some of that early now, getting ready for that. And I am notorious for breaking things, equipment and stuff. It just doesn't really always work out the best. I last year broke 2 fishing poles. The one was not my fault. I was just casting it, and I cast it out and snapped in half right in my face. That one was bad. And then the other one, I cast it out there, started reeling in, and I got onto a really, really big log. We're talking a 800-pound log. And I'm trying to yank it free, and I can't get it free, but all of a sudden I just start pulling, and the log starts coming with me. And so I just keep pulling on it, and boom, pole snaps, just shatters right down. And I think my brother actually broke a pole last year as well. Not sure how he did it,
but I think I broke the top half and he broke the bottom half of our respective poles. So then we just put the two good halves back together, and that's my new pole. That's what I have now until I break another one. Hopefully, knock on wood, I don't do that. But anyways, last year I probably broke a couple spears.
Yeah, they're kind of flimsy. So this year we got some heavier duty ones. And
right, and the bed of the river is all rock.
Yeah.
So when you throw your spear down, it's just metal bouncing off of rocks.
Yep.
They're just not going to last that long anyways. But now we got a couple extras. People have backups. So if other people come along that don't have them, whatever, we're in good shape. We're much more prepared for it this year than this year. And it's weird that we care about it so much.
It gives you something.
But yeah, it's just fun. It's just fun.
Like I said, everybody can come do it.
Yeah, so we're going to film all that. I think that's going to actually make cool video. Last year, you and Gabby's brother were catching them barehanded.
Yeah, we kind of got into the mother load of them.
Yeah, and you just reach down and grab them barehanded, and so we'll have some cool footage of that too. And it should be lots of action because we don't have to do too much like in between stuff. We'll just put in the clips of us getting them, and it should be really fun. I'm really excited for that. I just love spring.
Yeah,
because we had like a couple months there, like just now where we're sitting around, there's absolutely nothing to do outdoors wise. It just sucks outside. And then boom, like a week or two ago, everything just hits. And now it's like, oh, we got a shed hunt, we got a turkey hunt, we got a sucker spear, we got to go fishing. We got to do all of our food plots and everything so that we can get ready for the fall. I mean, it just turns on like that.
That's another thing we did. We did a bunch of soil tests.
Oh yeah.
On my land to figure out
the pH.
Yep. How much stuff to add and what to add and all that, so that'll be good. And
yeah, I mean, I'm excited to.
We're gonna put a lot of time into there, so.
Yeah, because the food plots that we planted last year, that was our first year planting food plots, and they came out really, really well. And we didn't really fertilize or put any lime down or any of that. We just put them in, let them go, and they turned out really well. And you've been putting plots in, and they always turn out decent.
We're really gonna amp it up. It's just we never had time. My dad and uncles are they're busy. They work 40 hours a week and they have kids and all that. So, but now that Noah and I we go out there by ourselves, and we got money that we can put into it, and so it's not just like my dad or my uncle's doing it all. So it's like it's kind of nice that we can go and try things out ourselves. So we'll take you guys along for that, and you'll learn, I guess, with us because it's kind of our first time doing it. But
yeah, the first time really putting everything into it and trying to do the whole thing. And I mean, I guess surprisingly, with how sandy your soil is and everything, it wasn't really bad soil. You didn't have, based on our test, the pH was like 6.5, and 7 is neutral.
Yeah, it was.
Most things can grow between 6.5 and 7.5. So you're looking really good. So,
and it's not that we haven't had things grow. It's just we usually get droughts. We'll plant and no rain, and that's crucial. Yeah,
but this year hopefully we can go up and water stuff if we need to.
Yeah,
because we got the golf cart, and
my uncle just got a 4-wheeler.
Yeah, so we'll have the equipment. We can get some water hooked up and hopefully water them down, and hopefully we just get some rain to help us out this year too. But yeah, we're putting a lot of work into the food plots and getting ready for this next deer season. I can't wait. I mean, before we know it, cameras are going to go up and we're going to start seeing pictures of bucks in velvet.
Yeah, and Noah's probably going to end up taking one for the team kind of and come and sit with me more than he would go sit at his land. He's still going to go hunt.
Right.
Opening weekend and all that, but...
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, last year I went... It was pretty much like every other weekend, and I just had so much going on with school. I had one professor that refused to let us do this certain assignment during the week. We physically had to do it over the weekend, and so that was every other weekend, and it just, I don't know, and it's 2.5 hours away. So when we go for the whole weekend. So we hunted it pretty hard, but usually we see, the beginning of the season is what's really good for us, and then
tapers down.
Yeah, we sort of see a lull sometimes in October. Then they come back with the rut. So we're just going to play it a little bit differently, I think, this year. Hunt it a little bit more strategically, not put too much pressure on it, because sometimes that'll just force them out. You you want to hunt it hard when you know they're gonna be there. But then if you hunt too hard and they bust you, then they might not come back. So we're just gonna hunt it a little bit smarter. And when I have free time, I'm gonna go and film you, and I hope I get to be there when you shoot.
Yeah,
but
I'll probably take a few for the team. Go film my dad.
Yeah,
my uncles, maybe, who knows?
Right.
Throw some hang some double stands and whatever, and we'll get some good film. So
yeah, that'll be the other thing is last year you didn't really hang that many double stands together. So
wasn't sure how well we were actually gonna stick to the whole.
Yeah, and then when I went with you, we had to hang one, and I had to like crawl up above you, and that wasn't the greatest situation. It worked. We were fine. We were safe.
But it'll be better this year, so get some new camera equipment and everything. So
yeah, we've made some big upgrades with our cameras and stuff. We haven't had. We didn't start out with GoPros. We got all the GoPros going, and you had one camera. I borrowed one from Gabby, and now it's kind of turned into my camera. It kind of lives at my house now, but
she'll get it back soon when we upgrade.
We'll upgrade, and then she can have it back. But we're busy, just doing all kinds of stuff. And I mean, we got a lot of stuff coming up now too, that big announcements that we're going to have. We don't really want to reveal too much yet, but we're working on some things that are going to come up pretty fast here the next couple weeks, months.
Yeah. You want to tell them or keep it a secret?
You can tell them about the one thing.
Yeah, so we're kind of on the verge of dropping a website for apparel.
Yeah.
As you can tell, we do it. Right. Well, Gabby, I should say.
Yeah, Gabby pretty much carries the team on that. But we started selling sweatshirts.
I don't know if they can see that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, turn this way a little bit. Yep. Yeah, there you go. We started selling sweatshirts like right away. But the thing is, we've really tried to keep it pretty... What is that? Okay. We try to keep it pretty local because you start worrying about like shipping and all that stuff, and it just gets tough. So it's really been like family and friends, but we're
working on getting everything finalized, getting us registered and everything like that to where everything's good.
Right. So because when you start looking at selling stuff online, you got to have a website, but then you also got to have like the people you're going to go through to make your apparel,
register as a business,
and link it. And we got to pay sales taxes and register as like an official.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to do, but we're getting there. It's going to take us a little bit, but we also want to make sure
we want to make it right.
Yeah, there's going to be some more than just sweatshirts and not just a sweatshirt. There'll be
we got different logos coming out too. I'm not going to say anything about them, but we are making more logos, more designs, just some different stuff.
Different, not just sweatshirts, other apparel,
all kinds of stuff.
Other just
other all we've done so far is sweatshirts, but there's going to be t-shirts and hats and all kinds of other stuff that
cup holders, mugs.
Yeah, we can. This is going to open up a lot of opportunities. We're going to be able to do almost anything now. If people want to see a certain thing, let us know, because realistically we can probably make it happen. There's a lot of things that we're going to be able to do with this. So I'm really excited. We just keep building on it, week by week. We keep learning and keep growing, and we just keep going and doing our thing. And
we're on the verge of, I'd say, a month or two. Probably a month at the earliest, 2 at the latest. We'll for sure let you guys know when that happens, but we're really looking forward to it, just because we're excited to see where it takes us and stuff like that. So
I think that'll probably be like a specific announcement video, like a 2 to 3 minute announcement video of launching our website. So be on the lookout for that. I don't know exactly when it's going to come about. There's some things we got to work out, phone calls we got to make, and some stuff we got to look into, but
it's. I'm not going to say too much more, just because it's surprising. Right. We kind of want to drop certain things and
That's the other thing, is we're not going to put everything out right away. So maybe 2 weeks into having a website, we'll
drop something,
put something else new in there, and just keep things interesting and keep people interested, and just keep putting stuff out there so we can keep getting our brand out there and keep pushing things forward. So I mean, Yeah, that's
Kinda
pretty
what I
much.
wanted to talk about.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's where we're at. That's a pretty big update because we had a big stretch there of not a whole lot going on, not a whole lot of videos coming out, but we just wanted to get together and talk about the things we have been doing and just kind of give an update on our status moving forward here, everything that's coming up, because now you should really expect to see a lot of videos coming out kind of quickly here. We're gonna have a lot of stuff going on.
I think the channel will really start growing a little bit as video wise pretty soon. So
yeah, I think so.
Keep a lookout. And
someday that Sturgeon stream video might hit 10,000 views, and
go share, go show everybody, whoever.
Yeah.
If you think someone's even interested in it, just send them the link.
Right. There's usually, I mean, we've done a lot of stuff, made a lot of videos, and there's going to be more, but there's pretty much something for everybody. If you just like fishing, but you don't like hunting, there's going to be fishing videos coming out, or, whatever. I mean, whatever it is. We do just a lot of stuff in the outdoors, hence the Buck Fever Outdoors. I mean, that's really what it's about. We focus on hunting, but we've expanded and we do a lot of things, and there's something for everybody. So
appreciate you guys watching.
Yeah,
it means a lot to us.
Yeah, make sure you subscribe and like this video, like our other videos. Go check some other stuff out, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks.